right, so this week you were to do worksheet 1-4. If you're watching this video and you are not a part of my OutSchool class, Pre Algebra Part 1, Discovering Pre Algebra Part 1, you'll see a link to the class in the description. So if you would like to take it, you can. So this week we added in parentheses, okay? So there are a lot of parentheses in our order of operation this week. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're doing PEMDAS still, okay? So let me write out our PEMDAS. All right, so this first one, I don't have any parentheses that have operations in it, just one that means multiplication. So I'm going to, and I have no exponents, so I'm going to go straight to my multiplication and division, and the first thing I see is 24 divided by 4. All right, so 4 goes into 24 6 times. Remember, they're the same thing. Multiplication and division are just opposite operations of each other, so I can work it left to right as it comes, okay? All right, so 6 plus 14 times 2. Obviously, I have to keep working multiplication and division until it's all done. Okay, so 14 times 2 is 28. And then the last thing I have to do is add 6 to my 28, and that's going to give me 34. All right, again, no parentheses, no exponents, going to go straight to the multiplication, which is going to be 110. All right. Still got to work out all the multiplication and division before I can go on to adding and subtracting. So I have to ask myself, how many times can 3 go into 12, which is 4? And I'm left with this subtraction, which is going to give me 106. Finally, some parentheses. All right, so I have to work the parentheses first. And remember that when I work that parenthesis first, I'm applying order of operations within that parenthesis. So I have to look inside my parenthesis. Is there any exponents? Yes, I have a 3 squared, which is 9. So that's the first thing I have to work out inside my parenthesis because I apply order of operations within the parenthesis. The next thing is this multiplication, 9 times 5, which is 45. So I've got to follow the rules even when I'm inside the parenthesis. Now, I could do 45 plus 9, which is 54. Okay, and now I'm done with that parenthesis. I have no exponents outside of that parenthesis, that first one I did. So now I can do the multiplication, 2 times 54, which is going to be 108 plus 4. Now I can do my addition, and it's 112. All right, this next one, no parentheses, but I do have this division. I got to do this division before the 4 times 2, okay? So 4 goes into 8 2 times, and then 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 plus 18 is 22. All right, and I know I didn't give you guys an answer key this time. I'm sorry. I just didn't have it ready in time, but that's okay. We'll do it as we go along. All right, so parentheses, yes, I have a parenthesis here and I have a parenthesis here. So let's work the first one out first. The only thing in there going on is addition, so I'm going to add the 2. The 2 is not inside the parenthesis, so I'm not going to solve it till I get to the exponent step. All right, let's go into the next one. Still got to follow order of operations within my parentheses, so I'm going to do the 10 divided by 5 first, which is 2. 5 goes into 10 2 times. I still got to work out some things inside this parenthesis, so I'm going to go ahead and do the 9 minus 2, which is 7. I see that I don't need the parentheses. It doesn't mean multiplication in this particular step. I only keep the parentheses at the end if it means multiplication also, or if I have an exponent on the outside, which I do here. All right, so 9 squared is 81 plus 7, and I get 88 as my answer. Okay, so the next one, again, I have something going on inside, a power, so I'm going to do that first. Okay, because parentheses comes first. Now I just have adding and subtracting, so I move left to right. 10 plus 59 is 69, minus 9 is 60. All right, now I could start working out this one, and it's just one simple subtraction, which is 20. Okay, so now I have division. I really didn't need to keep those parentheses. I could have written it 60 divided by 20 because I don't need those parentheses to show division. 20 goes into 63 times, okay? Very good. All right. Again, got to work that parentheses. The first thing I do is the exponent because it's what comes first in order of operations. So 4 squared is 16. All right. And then I have to do this multiplication. So 12 times the 6 is going to be 72. And then I got to do that subtraction within there because I'm still working my order of operations. I always work order of operations within the parentheses, and if I subtract 72 and 16, I'm going to get 56. Got to keep the parentheses in this case because it also means multiplication here. All right, so now I'm going to take that 56, I'm going to multiply it to 4, and you should get 224. And the last step is always your addition and subtraction. So I'm going to add 9 to this. It's going to be 233. All right, 3 more to go. In this one, we have an added little parenthesis that I'm going to scribble out. The first parenthesis just has addition, okay? The power is on the outside of the parentheses, so I keep the parentheses just to remember what gets the power, but that isn't done during the parentheses step. Go to my next one, and I do this first, my division, which is going to give me 5. 2 goes into 10 5 times. Got to finish up what's in that parenthesis, and I actually, let me go ahead and erase that parenthesis I just did. I don't need the parenthesis. We don't have a power on the outside, and it doesn't mean multiplication, so I can just add and write it down, 16. Now I do the next step, which is exponents. 10 to the second power is 100. And then there's no multiplication and division, so I go right down that I'm adding, and I get 116. 2 more. I got a bunch of stuff going on. I have an extra parenthesis. Sometimes my equation writer acts weird. All right, so I do the first one, 19 minus 8, and that is going to equal 11. Okay, I have to keep the parentheses, okay, because it looks like it's going to be multiplication. When in doubt, just keep the parentheses till you know. All right, next thing I want to do is my second parentheses, 10 plus 4, which is 14, and it is multiplication, so I'm going to keep my parentheses. Next thing on my list is exponents, so I do 8 to the second power, which is 64. All right, now I got to do that multiplication, which is 140 plus 14, 54, 154. Let me just double check that. 154 plus the 64 is going to give me 218. Very good. Okay, so this one has no parentheses, no exponents, multiplication, division. Gotta do that division first. 6 goes into 18 3 times, and remember that is because they're actually just opposite of each other, but they're the same function in math, the same function, just opposite operations. So I should be able to work them out left to right, okay, as they come. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 18 is going to give me 24. All right, so that's all the answers for this worksheet. Keep doing it till you get it right, and come back for the next video.